Peace and blessings to everybody out there. Welcome back to the Fake Woke Podcast. This is your boy, Bobby VILN. I'm back with another video. I'm stuck in this bullshit ass 710 traffic right now. Should have left a little earlier, but you know, it happens. $15 an hour across the board federally. $15 an hour across the board federally. You heard what I said. Jim Crow Joe is pushing for a $15 an hour minimum wage. Now, I got a couple of questions. Exactly what's going to happen to the federal employees? Are they going to get a pay raise? What's going to happen? What's going to be the standard salary for a federal employee if you're raising $15? If you're raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour? Because again, we have to account for locality. We have to account for all types of things when it comes to federal employees. So what's the point of being a federal employee when you only making $3 more than somebody flipping burgers at fucking McDonald's, right? But not only that, $15 an hour is not necessary federally, across the board. For the whole nation, it's not necessary. You do not need a $15 an hour minimum wage. Because again, a lot of these state economies, especially when it comes to the Midwest, when it comes to middle America, they do not need a $15 an hour minimum wage because, again, their state economy, it's not needed for their state economy due to the fact that their state economy is actually lower than what we consider, New York, California, San Francisco by itself is $18 an hour, and shit is sky high there. Hawaii too, because everything is imported. So it's like, why are you trying to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour? He sat there and said, Jim Crow Joe, Crime Bill Joe, whatever you want to call him. He sat there and he said, no American should live below the poverty line. Well, Joe, I have something to tell you. You just raised the poverty. You're going to raise the poverty line if this shit actually passes. Because everybody knows, because it's basic economics. If you took an economic class, just basic economics, they sat there and they told you, they broke it down to you. Once the cost of living, once minimum wage goes up, the cost of living goes up. It's right there. It's right there. They're neck and neck. They're the same thing, because once you start paying these people more, they're gonna start charging more. And then not only that, let's go ahead and talk about the mom and pop shops, right? Let's talk about the mom and pop shops. You got what, 12 people employed at this nice little burger joint, mom and pop burger joint, small business. You got 12 people there. You're paying them the basic minimum wage of what? Federally, about $8 an hour, right? So you're able to afford that, right? As a small business owner, you're able to afford that. Once the federal minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour, what's going to happen to those 12 people? Because again, this is a mom and pop shop. Are you sure that this mom and pop shop is going to be able to afford $15 an hour? More than likely, no. And here's the reason why. Because not a lot of small businesses are able to pay that amount, especially within middle America. They're not able to pay that amount. So what's going to happen is they're going to have to cut half their staff. So now that's 6 people that's just been laid off because they can't afford $15 an hour for 12 people. Not only that, hours is going to be cut because, again, they have to make a profit. They can't sit there and pay you $15 an hour and lose profit at the same time. Something got to give. And guess who's going to be the first to get cut? The employee. In order for the employer to make a profit. And now I know a lot of people gonna be like, well, what about they could go work for another company like Amazon, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, they'll sit there and they'll give you a job, or are you gonna get the same amount of hours? And secondly, they're trying to open the border. I keep telling people this, especially Black America, that once they open that border, you're forgotten about, Black America. Citizens, you're forgotten about. Because now they have migrants over here that don't have a citizenship. So they don't have to pay you that federal $15 an hour. They don't have to pay you that. They can offer them a smaller amount, a lesser amount of money to pay them under the table, keep them off the books, keep a couple of people on the books, and then there you have it. You're fully staffed. And some people aren't even legal. They don't have to pay you that $15 an hour. They could replace you with harder working people with lesser pay. The migrants will take a lesser pay because they're gonna sit there, they're gonna work that Amazon job, they're gonna work that McDonald's for 3 to 4 years while working 2 other fucking jobs, take that money and start their own business. They either gonna have a market, they either gonna have a restaurant, so forth and so on. See, they're not like American citizens. American citizens are very lazy. Black America sit there. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Black America. Black America sit here and we think that these liberals have our best interests at heart. They really do not. You're about to be replaced with migrants. And the reason why I say that is like I stated before, they're willing to take a lesser pay to work that McDonald's job. You don't even want to work that McDonald's job. You don't want to work that shit. Black America don't want to work that shit. But the migrants will. They gonna work those 3 jobs that pay them only $10 an hour, $5 below federal minimum wage. That's what they're pushing right now, that $15 an hour. Also, they could get ahead while you sitting there and you either working at the airport making that 15, getting your hours slashed because they don't want to pay all of their they don't want to pay all of their employees. They don't want to give all their employees the proper amount of hours for them to sustain themselves. So the poverty line has been risen if you push that through. I recommend, especially a lot of these congressmen and women, to vote against $15 an hour minimum wage because it's not going to work. The poverty line will rise with that $15 an hour. Not only will it rise, unemployment will rise. People's hours are going to get cut left and right. Federal employees are how am I gonna say this? Federal employees aren't going to feel appreciated because they're only making $2 more than somebody that's flipping a fucking burger patty. So, with that being said, hyperinflation is on the way too. Hyperinflation is on the way. Unemployment is about to rise. They keep printing money out of fucking nowhere. We have nothing to back our money. The gold standard is completely, it's been fucking gone. So the Federal Reserve is just printing money just to print the shit. Just to fucking print the shit. And now the value of the dollar is going down considerably. We ain't got much time left. We ain't got much time left. And you want to know how? You want to know how I know hyperinflation is on the way? Once they started handing out those checks, gas is on the rise. Sooner than later during this Biden administration, gas is gonna be $6. I seen this shit coming a long time ago. The fact that the Federal Reserve keep printing this fucking money, the fact that they're trying to raise the national minimum wage to $15 an hour, shit's about to hit the fan. Crime is about to be on the rise. You think you see motherfuckers being killed right now? Watch. Because once they're not able to find employment, once they're not able to provide food for their families, there's going to be a whole lot of scheming and killing out there. And that's unfortunate. But besides that, thank you for tapping into the Fake Woke Podcast.